Hello. That was my favourite vocal trainer, Carol Vaz. Definitely not a gimmick. Scream harder than last time. This bloke never skips dehydration day. Remember kids, train hard or clen home. There is a serious discussion to be had about vascularity and extremely low levels of body fat and dehydration in terms of health repercussions, but I got distracted by the internet telling me Katy Perry is a robot. She should have upgraded to Windows 11. That's how I looked at school when I was trying to fall asleep without the teacher noticing.
Make even more noise for my band.
Probably just a contact lens issue, but internet rabbit holes are way more entertaining. Mark Zuckerberg fight footage emerges after silent killer wins gold in first jiu-jitsu tournament. I would watch it, but I've got to scroll endlessly on Facebook liking pictures from people who I met once in a coffee shop 3 years ago. KSI won his latest play fight. YouTube star KSI beat Joe Fournier with a controversial knockout on Saturday, finishing the former professional boxer with an accidental elbow. He elbowed him in the head, basically, because why not? In a post-fight interview, KSI denied that he'd stopped his fellow Briton with his elbow.
Did you feel anything on the elbow? Is there any...
Honestly, it was so fast, I didn't even think I hit him with an elbow.
KSI's too fast to notice he was using Muay Thai. Legend. And who gave him a belt? He just beat a 40-year-old retired boxer by elbowing him in the face in a boxing match. Mr. Natural Canada 2018 with a breast pump. Now an IFBB pro, how has he made that progress in 5 years? By drinking chicken breasts, obviously. Drinking your chicken breast gives you real breast, and the rest, i.e. the test.
That's what I keep preaching, put that chicken in the trender.
Look at what I drink for muscle gains. Oh my gosh, I just drank my chicken breast.
And people argue that TikTok is turning us into a generation of morons. Gorilla Glue girl. Tessica Brown undoubtedly cemented her place on TikTok's stupidity Mount Rushmore after slathering her hair with Gorilla Glue and having to get it surgically repaired during a 4-hour procedure, which landed her $20,000 in donations, hundreds of free hair products, and even a full-time agent. If only I had some hair.
Watch her eyes and then watch mine. Do you remember what eye contact in the animal kingdom means?
Hakuna Matata?
Some people have become civilized people, some people are still wild animals.
The phone box near my house agrees with that point. I mean, that's quite a stretch because that lady glanced at you for a second whilst you were stood there gyrating in front of the mirror and then the hashtag content alert went off. I reckon 100% of people in the gym would glance at someone if they were stood in front of the mirror doing that. Introducing Visceral Rascal.
This is me, right? The me everyone knows from the screen.
No steroids, no filter. 100% lifetime natural athlete. I make enemies for a living. Well, I believe the last bit.
Yeah, if I did steroids, you'd all be...
I'm sold. Probably not roids, just talent.
Steroids. It's talent.
See, told you. The 3 keys to muscle growth: progressive overload, protein intake, and talent. I need more evidence.
I just wanted to say thanks to all the men in my DMs that responded to my story about getting a vasectomy. It was an overwhelming response. I wasn't sure how it was going to land, and it was an overwhelming response from men saying, yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, no, not that one. She makes enemies for a living, not babies. It's all fine.
Every day I wake up to comments. You think you're so cool. You're so smug. You're so arrogant. You know what I have to say to that? You're right.
That one. Joey Yokes picked up on her niche.
So you record that woman looking in your direction, which you have to slow-mo to make look longer. So you can create this metaphor as if you're in the animal kingdom, that she can't keep eye contact with you because she's weaker than you, as if she's the prey and you're the predator. Well, you're not in the animal kingdom. You're in a gym.
Her response:
I don't care about his interpretation of me. I thought my reel was hilarious.
When your comment section resembles Nikocado avocados, you know you messed up.
I'm telling you, this stuff that I'm getting ready to introduce you to has really been helping me out.
I told him, he needs RTD.
What are you doing, man? I done told you, bro. What are you doing? You need energy. You need focus. You need pump. RTD. Let's go. RTD. 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 Yeah. You need energy. You need focus. You need RTD. 5% nutrition. Okay, let's go.
I think he needs less energy, to be honest. 5% Nutrition have just released a new pre-workout drink, and so unbelievably, that last clip was cinematic compared to this promo video, where he walks into a gym, gives it to a 5%er fan, and shouts chug as the guy drinks 400 milligrams of caffeine and other stimulants faster than people cancelling their Disney Plus memberships. 5 million people, statistics. And 5% sponsored legends are promoting it all over social media. And so 5% supplements are extremely high in stimulants. You need to be very careful if you take them. Probably don't chug them in the gym.
One day ago.
What's up, you guys? Wanted to take a second and share how pumped I am about everything that we got going on right now at V-Shred.
Budget Kino Body flexing his house. To be fair, it's a pretty nice house.
We've figured out how to reprogram the metabolism to help these people lose a serious amount of weight.
Apparently, Vince can now reprogram your metabolism, the single scariest sentence in the English language. So V-Shred have now replaced their free somatotype body quiz with a free metabolic score quiz.
I want to do something extra special for you today. It only takes a few minutes, and you'll find out what your score is right away. And then, like I said, based on your score, you'll have the chance to book in a quick call
to get your details and sell your stuff.
A lot of people that choose V-Shred don't realize they have what we call a broken metabolism.
In which case you'd be dead.
And the best way to get started with V-Shred is by knowing what your metabolic score actually is. So just scroll down, take the free quiz. Again, 100% free.
I would join, but I don't know how much it is.
Think of it as a free gift for joining V-Shred.
You get the idea. Same hustle, different paint job.
And I'll tell you, a lot of people who get their metabolism score tell us that they're pretty surprised.
That video is 3.5 minutes of my life I'll never get back, as is this.
12 million views incoming.
Me minding my business trying to film a workout for you guys. A middle-aged man stood right behind me and stared at my butt. There are other squat racks open. What is this man's problem? I did not want to squat in front of him. Me waiting for him to go away, but he won't. I finally said, he left. Now let's get to work, fish. Never mind, he came back to stare. I stopped mid-set because I was so uncomfortable.
The comment section did not pass the vibe check. I'm not calling her a liar, but there is a mirror and I see no one there. You don't like him seeing, but 5 million people can see it here.
Let's end with some science. Intensity technique, extra negative reps. Here I'm putting Kat Fit through a back workout using a seated machine row. After she gets 6 to 8 reps with perfect form, in a slow and controlled manner, we ramp up the intensity with negative reps. You are strongest on the negative portion, so we'll have more in the tank for this. The idea is to tax each portion of the movement so it's completely exhausted, and then we move on. And so that was bodybuilding legend Dorian Yates showing one of his training methods for stimulating muscle growth. And so negative reps are an interesting idea. There are many protocols you can use in terms of working the eccentric contraction, of course, which is responsible for DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, basically when you can't get off the toilet after leg day. And so I've talked about eccentric loading on the channel before. I've talked about time under tension also. And if you look at how Dorian is training negative reps, he pushes the stack on the concentric because the load would be too heavy for the participant to pull. Then she takes the weight during the negative part of the lift. And so there's an interesting meta-analysis from a few years ago, which I think can be helpful when thinking about this idea. Of course, you don't need to do negative reps. It's not for beginners. Like essentially most training principles, it's just another tool that you may use depending on your circumstances. And so this paper, after a rigorous filtering process, looked at 15 of the highest quality studies they could find into concentric and eccentric contractions. And here is their practical application after looking at the body of literature. Given the modest effect size difference between exclusively eccentric and concentric training, it seems that eccentric only training likely provides a small advantage over concentric only training for promoting a hypertrophic response. Notwithstanding, both contraction modes can promote significant muscle hypertrophy. Further research is required to clarify whether the benefit of eccentric training is related to the higher forces produced and ultimately total work completed relative to concentric only training. Eccentric actions may elicit a slightly larger hypertrophic response than concentric actions, but at the same time, they also require greater overload and induce greater delayed onset muscle soreness. And so that's a very important point when considering if you want to use these types of protocols. The recovery time, are you natural or enhanced? can affect your recovery time. What does your split look like, which of course can affect it. And so that's something you need to consider. It's one of those ideas that has pros and cons to it. There's not necessarily a right or wrong. It's certainly a more advanced training method. And I'm very much interested in your take. Do you perform some type of negative reps? What protocol do you use? How have you found your results using those protocols? I'm James Linker. I'll see you soon.